Hello everyone. Today we will explore some of the key concepts of TIBCO BusinessWorks, focusing on ActivatorProcess, ComponentProcess, and taking a look at palettes and transitions. Let's start by opening TIBCO BusinessWorks Studio. As in Java, we create a workspace for our project. In the workbench, we right-click, select New, and then BusinessWorks Application Module. We give the project a name, for example, Learning. For now, we will not create any default processes. An application module is the collection of resources, processes, schemas, and much more necessary for our application. An application module may depend on one or more shared modules containing resources, processes, and more, which can be shared by multiple application modules. BusinessWorks is centered around processes, which describe the flow of business data from one or more sources to one or more destinations. In the Process folder, we can create packages similar to Java to organize our processes. We create a package called Activator. Now we create the Activator process. We go to Module Descriptors, Overview. Here we can define the activator, making sure to select the package we just created. There is only one activator process per module, which mainly defines two operations. On startup is an operation that is executed when the application starts. On shutdown is an operation that is executed when the application shuts down. For both operations, we insert a palette. Palettes are activities that perform specific tasks. We will add a log palette for both operations, which works like a print in Java. We right-click, Add Activity, General Activities, and select Log. It is important to note that palettes in the same process cannot have the same name, so it is good practice to rename them according to their function. The inputs of a palette are defined in an XSD schema. Multiple fields, 0 or more, are indicated with the asterisk symbol, one or more with the plus symbol, optional fields, 0 or 1, with the question mark symbol, and single mandatory fields without symbols, such as message in our case. If we do not enter a value, an error will be displayed. The activator is the main process because it is executed when the application starts. Another type of main process is the component process, which we create in a separate package called main. We create a timer process, which will be executed when the application starts. After creating the process, we might see an error, because every component process must be triggered by an event, such as a timer, a message reception, a file poller, or others. We insert a timer palette. We can set the timer to run only once or repeatedly by deselecting this option and setting the repetition interval. Now we add a palette to print the classic Hello World. By clicking on the plus icon, we create a connection between the timer palette and the log palette. We can also connect them using the other icon. The arrow we created is called transition. Transitions represent the execution flow of the process. We will delve into this concept later, but we introduce by saying that the data flow travels between transitions and palettes through XML documents. The log palette always requires a message as input, as it is a mandatory field. In the left part of the interface, we find the process configurations and all the outputs of the previous palettes in the flow. In this case, we only have the timer. But if we add a mapper palette, which essentially converts an XML through an XLT schema between the timer and the log, we create an XSD with an element of type string. Now we will see that the log input will also include the mapper elements and all the previous palettes connected by transitions. The fields to be mapped from another palette can be dragged and modified with XPath. Before starting the application, we go to Module Descriptors, Components, where we find all the main processes of the application, in our case, Activator and Timer. We can deselect the flag to exclude them from execution. We start the application and check the console to see the logs. We see the log produced by Activator on Stirred Up and the log produced by Timer. The on-shutdown log in the Activator is not generated when the application is terminated via the Terminate button. To view this log, you must modify and save the project, forcing a shutdown and restart cycle. If we want to log the content of process context, we can use the built-in TIBCO functions. The functions are organized in folders, each with its own scope, such as numbers, strings, dates, etc. For example, string concatenation is found in the string function folder, where we also find a brief description of the function. As for process context, we can map it directly. But the output will be a series of concatenated values. We can search for the render XML function that includes not only the values of the XML, but also the tags. We set the flags to true to see it formatted. Now we set an interval for the timer, making it start every second for 5 times. We put our hello world back. Note that the strings can be entered with both the single quote symbols and the double quote symbols. As expected, the execution stops at the 5th occurrence. Thank you for your attention. If you liked the video, leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more TIBCO content.